Welcome back to the Perfect Storm, Justin. It's
Kyle.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
It's good to have you. And one of my favourite guests on the show. And not just me, other people actually really appreciate your perspective.
Really?
Johannes.
Yeah, I guess it's that between 20 and 30 female demographic that you're going
right.
for. Yeah.
It's actually
I'm
quite,
not going to argue with that. Yeah,
quite expensive to fly you in from Germany every week, but I think
But
it's
hey,
worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It definitely is. I'm horrendously ill prepared, but I heard we were talking maybe about Sydney Sweeney's jeans, so I thought I'll chime in on that.
Okay, well,
We actually
you're
do.
jet lagged if anyone asks. So.
We actually decided to leave that out of the show.
Did we? What a shame.
Yeah, but that is the latest breaking
All right.
news. So it's relevant for news. Yeah, we just
Oh,
decided.
definitely.
Yeah, we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So, as you'll notice, there's somebody missing. Can anybody pick who? Can't think of anybody. No, me
I
either.
got Nerek here. Hey, Nerek, how are you? Hey, we're missing Phil. Where are you, Phil?
We're missing Phil.
Phil.
Phil, he's doing work
He is.
this week,
Tough part of the world.
as opposed to this. I thought we could start with, before we get into the stories, we might spend a few minutes on last week's comments. One, great to see Phil back.
That's a good comment
That's a
because
good
he's
comment.
gone again already.
He's gone.
So withdraw that comment.
Someone says here, lovely to see you at the big boys desk, Kyle. Mm-hmm. It's very nice to be at the big boys desk. Nerek, you get ready to come here to the big
Yeah,
boys
you'll be
desk.
next,
You're
Nerek.
up next. Welcome back. Show goes too quickly. We're trying to make it go quicker, actually. You'll notice we've gone from 45 down to half an hour. Justin was coming to my church, had to cancel.
I did have to cancel a day before, but I'll be back.
A warning on James Tallarico. Now, I can't remember talking about James Tallarico. Did we talk about
He
him?
was in the Texas House speaking about the separation of church and state and made
Gotcha.
some comments I really agree
He
with.
was a Baptist guy.
Yeah, but he's got a whole bunch of other stuff we disagree with, which is
Okay.
been pointed out by one of the comments, and I think that's a legit comment.
Doesn't believe the Bible is plainly written and therefore needs to be reinterpreted to suit modern day.
Yeah, and look, that's why his him coming out and defending the separation of church and state may or may not help us where it really matters. But his argument was excellent.
Did you see the show and the argument that they were talking about?
No, I did not.
Nice.
But-
well, you're well researched.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah. But in general, if you
Yeah.
start, well, I have my own qualms, of course. But if you start reinterpreting anything, then at some point you just end up with rainbow flags in church, right? That's the thing. You can reinterpret a lot of stuff
Yeah.
into the Bible if you wanted
And
to.
liberalism is dying in front of our eyes. Our world is shifting quite rapidly towards fundamentalism from liberalism, and you can see it collapsing everywhere. Look at the UK. This is not a part of what we're discussing, but they are in serious trouble over there. The UK Reform Party has just come to not prominence, dominance. The mainline parties are collapsing.
Is
What
this
happened in
Nigel
America?
Farage?
Nigel Farage. It's happening all over the world. It's happening in Ireland. It's happening in lots of different countries, France. So, yeah, it's a fascinating time to be able to sit back and reflect on what's going on in front of us. Liberalism is dying in front of us, and they've got nothing to cling to.
But is it dying in Australia, though? It seems to be dying in pretty much every other Western country, but
10 years-
Australia is
we're
10
clinging
years
on.
behind.
Trust me, it's dying in Australia. It will be the last one.
Yeah, it's
because we
always-
tend to care more about the weather and what we're doing on the weekend, and we don't get too hung up on ideology. But it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Will it be quick enough to save
Australia I
our
think it's
pocketbook?
Too late, mate.
And then the most important comment, thank you, Cassandra. She says, I agree with Kyle. She says other stuff as well, but that's the important part of the comment. Trump is sick, something about his heart. He does have a terrible diet. We can confirm that.
Yes.
He admits that. So, anyways, thank you for the interaction from last week. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, or beard trimming advice for Johannes in the comments. And
As I said, ill prepared.
It's a radio program primarily.
Just-
mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They can't see on Faith FM.
That's right. We're on YouTube as well. If you're just listening to us, welcome. Friday afternoons, Tuesday mornings, replays. This week, in the news, it's probably hitting shores right now. The equal sixth biggest earthquake of all time
In
Recorded.
human history that's recorded.
that they've
yeah.
recorded. From
Kamchatka,
Kamchatka,
I believe.
I believe. We're not Russian.
Have you been there, mate?
No, only saw it on the risk board. That's the only.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Go You board. But
All right.
yeah.
It's not a competition.
So what does this mean? Where's it going to hit? Is this going to be a fizzer? Is something actually going to happen?
We hope it's a
You
fizzer.
will find out by the time you listen to this on a Friday.
An 8.8, just to put this in perspective, like in LA, I used to live in Los Angeles. Once you hit a 7.5, 7.5, 7.6, the freeway bridges, they put these big metal bands around the concrete so they'll withstand it. But after that, it's probably not going to make it. So an 8's double a 7. To go 8.8, you're nearly to 9. That's a massive quake, and hence they're in a panic now. How big, because it's shallow, 18 k's deep, how big is the tsunami going to be generated across the Pacific? So by the time you hear this, you will have known it will be a fact or it won't be.
I mean, is there any way to determine the size of a tsunami before it actually hits? Because we have early warning systems that are just buoys that bumping in the water up and down, right?
Yeah.
But
They do.
they don't. But
I've seen predictions of like 3.4 meters and stuff, but there's many countries it's going to touch. So.
Hawaii is got no continental shelf like Australia, so you go from deep water straight to this island, and so they cop it. And they
Yeah.
have all those buoys or buoys that are picking up all those things. But these are incredible things. That size, it's mind-blowing. The last one was the Fukushima disaster in Japan that was that size. And that wiped out those tsunamis are infamous, the video footage of them sweeping across the country. And the radioactive fallout that happened as a result of the destruction of that reactor there on the coast was we still live with it.
How many people actually, Narek, would you mind pulling that up? How many
Yep.
people died in the Japan tsunamis?
So here we go. Here's some footage. here.
2011 that was.
So in the 2011,
Oh, that's the current one now,
It's
is it?
current one.
Yeah,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, okay, so things are already starting to
yeah,
fall.
it's already starting. So,
Buildings collapsing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's bad anyway.
yeah, so you can see how it's all looking there.
No good.
Yep.
Oh, here's some tsunami footage, is
I
it?
think that one. I think I saw that one earlier. That's a
Get out of there, guys.
That's a fjord somewhere.
Yeah.
I think somebody's posting old content there, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I saw
Anyway.
that before. So, in other news, in America, the guns are shooting people indiscriminately.
again,
Is that what happened? Can
well, that's part of what happened.
you?
It's shocking, and there's a police officer killed instantly, it seems, and I think 3 or 4 other people within the office block, and then the shooter, significantly, he doesn't shoot himself where you normally would. He shoots himself in the chest, and we don't want to talk about that. Kids listen to this program, but he is under the impression he has a brain injury and he wants his brain studied in his note that he left behind. But he has one common trait with many, many, many other mass shooters, Kyle, in that country. What is that common trait?
It's an acronym that I don't understand. SSRIs, but drugs of the like hallucinogenic depression. What are the other words? Antidepressants. Lots of antidepressant drugs. There's actually a short clip from Tucker where he's addressing this a while ago. If you want to just play a little bit of that one.
I find this interesting. We don't know. We're just raising this as because they found his medication on the front seat of his car. And they talk all about the weapons and everything else, but there's a common theme here with these mass shootings. And I think someone needs to look a bit deeper into this. Have to turn that right up out there on that one because it's very hard to hear it.
Volume's got to come
in
across.
the country by crackpots posing as counselors. They're numbed by the endless psychotropic drugs that are handed out in every school in the country by crackpots posing as counselors. So a lot of young men in America are going nuts. Are you surprised? And by the way, a shockingly large number of them have been prescribed psychotropic drugs by their doctors, SSRIs or antidepressants. And that would include quite a few mass shooters. And keep in mind, again, these drugs are meant to prevent crazy behavior.
Wow.
And yet there seems to be a connection. Eric Harris.
Yeah, I saw
Columbine,
something earlier. They're saying basically 100% of school shooters since the 60s or something have all been on psychotropic drugs.
Yep.
Well, the question
Apparently.
the question is now, are they mentally ill and also on these drugs and therefore go on on those mass shootings? Would that have happened with the drugs or without the drugs? I mean, I'm the first one to say probably don't take don't
We don't
just take
prescribe
antidepressants.
medical advice.
Yeah,
We don't
no
give
medical advice, no financial advice. Everything happens in Minecraft. No, but, I mean, I'm not a fan of drugging people up to make them fit society better, really, which apparently in this case doesn't even work. But yeah, is it a question with people becoming mental for other reasons?
It may not be causal. It
Yeah.
may be association. It could be a lot of things. But boy, someone needs to be asking this question and doing a lot more research.
Now, you were saying about brain injuries. Is that because it's NFL related, it's sports related, and
Impact Sports.
is he blaming sports and the NFL for the
Apparently, he's turned up at this building in New York because it's also one of the headquarters for the NFL. He's driven a long way from out of state to come to shoot people because he's blaming football, American football, for his brain injury that he has. And there's a powerful movie called Concussion that I think everyone should watch. Parents that have their kids in high impact sports, and I've done that.
Is that
That's rugby league has got big issues in this space, and rugby union as well, even AFL.
Yeah, but
Concussion.
I mean that doesn't mean he was a rational shooter, right? I mean,
No.
nobody's ever responsible for anything anymore, and
We don't know, but this association with this cocktail of drugs prescribed by psychiatrists, when there's so many shooters involved in these mass shootings, unexplained mass shootings, and those drugs are involved, okay, it may be just pure association. It may not be causal. It may be something else, but I think that needs to be looked into for sure.
oh no, I'm definitely more on the side of, okay, drugged up people are probably doing weird things, right? So
Yep.
I'm definitely thinking that there would be logically some kind of causation, but still, the question needs to be asked, because why all of a sudden is there the need to give so many people these drugs?
It's true. And look, I think our modern lifestyle is affecting our mental health. The phones, the screens, the crazy pace that we're at, the inability to sleep. There's all sorts of side effects with our modern lifestyle that ancient people have not had to live with. And they did not have electricity, and let alone look at the gadgets that we have now. They're all over us all the time, and it's not going to decrease. People's well-being and their mental health is not improving in this modern society. It's getting worse and worse. And to see these shootings, unthinkable back in the day, but I don't know. I think there needs to be a lot more research into what's going on here.
Is RFK on that?
he's on Making America Healthy Again entirely. So there's a lot of things changing at NHS. A lot of food additives are changing, and a lot of the prescriptive schedules. So, for example, the COVID vaccine is no longer part of the childhood vaccine schedule. So there's a lot of changes happening as it relates to medication.
Trump's putting Robert F. Kennedy in charge of this stuff, and he is very much into these issues surrounding this.
Yeah. I haven't heard him comment on this specific case yet, but I'm quite sure when he gets some time.
There's a lot to eradicate.
And let's throw the grenade right in here. Big Pharma funds the media and some networks so strongly that we don't allow it in this country to advertise. Praise the Lord. But in the United States, every second ad is a drug ad, and they have to put in a fast pace. They have to give all the side effects at the end of the ad. Have you ever seen them? It's almost comical. This could kill you. This could right at the end after they've advertised. And these are such powerful companies with these cocktail of modern drugs and the race to come up with the next one that's going to make you billions. It's very subject to corruption when there's that much money involved.
Yeah, for
Trust
sure.
the science, I guess.
That much money involved, like $1.3 trillion is involved with Trump and Europe.
Yeah, wow.
Now, I'll comment on this first part, but then I want to understand more about the economics from you guys because you're so well researched in this. It feels like we're living in a movie when you have a world leader, like a government leader, like Trump is, who goes to another country to have a meeting with European leaders, and then he welcomes them to his own stone castle.
In Scotland.
He's not the guest; he's the host in another country. Like, I didn't see that one coming. Like, how? In what other way could that have manifested apart from this unique situation that we're in right now?
It's true.
Where the guy's so independently wealthy in and of himself that he goes to another country as a world leader and then hosts people in his own castle. It may be a throwback to the olden days.
Yeah.
His mother's born in Scotland, so he has an affinity with Scotland.
Gotcha.
And he
owns
loves golf.
2 golf courses there. And it's the home of golf.
Yeah.
St Andrews is the birthplace of golf. So he's definitely, I think he would identify with Scotland, even though they can't stand him, it appears, but he certainly wants to hang out with them.
He's got the right colour hair to belong there. So what happened then in the actual dealings? Why was he there? Who was he meeting with? What for what ends? And this is all to do with tariffs, I understand.
Well, we have a European expert with us today on the panel.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
the deal that he has struck, I've got to say, in June, for the first time in our lifetime, their balance of payments is in the positive. That America actually took more in than went out. That's not something we've ever seen.
Just for
and
June,
it's
did you say?
tariffs. Just June, the first time it's happened. Trump's tariffs, and even on this show, we were saying, "Oh, what's going to happen next? This is bad."
I wasn't.
Were you?
No.
No, okay.
Must have
Maybe,
been Phil.
maybe we'll have to go back. The Europeans have agreed to a 15% tariff on their manufacturing goods because they want BMWs and Mercedes in America, or there's no market for them.
Yeah. And 0 the other way around.
And 0, Trump has got no tariffs on US products going in there and
I know.
access.
But we are
this is
still-
unreal.
Really? Did you think for a second that the European leaders are competent? Where would that have come from?
Well, I can't say that from
Wow.
here, mate.
Is that your
I'm not an
opinion?
expert.
Stuff them all in the back. A lot of them.
So you think this is, you could see this coming, eh?
Oh, I would not have had to know anything about this deal to absolutely be certain about it being a really terrible deal for Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, anything
Other than that,
our
it's
leaders
great.
touch turns terrible.
Okay.
This is really tough to talk about modern politics without being able to put any slurs in. Really, this is the biggest.
You're not allowed to
strain.
slur on the air, okay? We don't slur here.
Just saying, this
We
is
try
a
not to, okay?
nearly impossible task.
Okay.
And anyway, he has done the deal.
Yeah.
The Europeans have bent the knee to King Trump. And how does this affect Bible prophecy? I always want to bring it back to that. The last superpower on earth is not China. The last in Bible prophecy, the last superpower on earth is the United States. And don't write them off. Everyone's out there, they're going to go down. China's going to... In my Bible, they're the last superpower on earth. And I tell you what, they've always had the power to do this because they're such a massive market. And they have been how have they been? They have not. They haven't tried to dominate in this way, not openly like this, where Trump is unabashedly just saying, well, "Yeah, you want to deal with us? We'll give you 50% tariff. We'll give you 100%. But if you work with us, we'll bring it down to 15." And everyone thinks that's a great deal. Wow, he is the art of the deal, isn't he?
Yeah, he definitely throws his weight around. But then also, the European Union in and of itself is not necessarily a competition to any kind of empire or superpower or anything like that.
Oh, it's not.
It is still it is
mess.
a bunch of different countries, right? There's no unity there,
Are
right?
you sure? Like, I thought Greece and Germany were so similar.
Yeah, exactly. There's this joke where people sit in the European Parliament, and one says, "I'm French," and the other one says, "I'm Polish," and then the third guy goes in and says, "I'm European." You're the German guy, right? Because we are the only ones, if any, that think of Europe as a thing. And you saw it during COVID. Did I tell that last time? I don't think so. When everybody all of a sudden needed masks and all these kinds of goods, all of a sudden everybody said, "Nah, everyone for itself. We're not supporting anybody else. The borders are hard again."
What union?
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
There's no union.
What's your understanding of Europe in Bible prophecy?
I don't know. Does it even get mentioned?
Daniel 2, the 10 kings.
I wasn't in Bible class when we did that.
No, sorry about that.
No.
The 10 kings of Europe, where they the stone goes all the way and strikes the feet on the feet at the time
10 toes.
clay
The
and
clay feet on
iron
the
mixed
statue.
together.
Yeah.
It's weak and strong together, and they attempt to unite, but they fail at it. And I think we can say the European Union largely is failing at it.
I mean, it's the same. It pretty much has the same issues as the Soviet Union would have had, right? They are trying to mash up a bunch of countries that don't really want that,
No.
and also are just way too different. And yeah, I mean, it would probably eventually go the same way. But the reason why it goes for a bit longer, I would assume, is that, well, there's a lot of wealth there still, so people are kind of sedated in that. And
As a German, what's your understanding of the point of the European Union?
the point of the European Union is Germany conquering Europe by other means.
So is that, I've never heard that perspective. So is that like commonly known?
This is breaking news. This is breaking news.
Does every country think that of themselves?
No.
This is German.
Okay. Just a German.
Well, it's always every time you talk about the European Union, everybody always says, "Oh, yeah, it's a trade union, right? And it's then easier for us to travel, and all of a sudden, I don't have to buy a new SIM card when I go into a different country." So it's all. This is how it's being sold.
Trade.
But in the end, what it actually achieves is now, okay, we have a bunch of different countries, but they're all united under one single parliament, one single flag, right? And they're talking about building up their own army. It's basically, the construction of this super state, but then I don't see how it would ever work. Something like that doesn't really work. It worked in the US because everybody who moved out there had somewhat of a similar idea.
Wanted to be one together.
Yeah, they wanted. They didn't necessarily want to become the US, but they definitely did not want to be in Europe anymore. So at least that united them. But everybody who is in Europe would have been perfectly fine without the European Union being there. And everybody also says, "Oh, well, but we need to be this one big conglomerate to compete with China, to compete with the US." And every time Trump comes over, or somebody else that is a bit of a bigwig in politics, they basically go, "Oh, who can I actually talk to? Nobody is in power. Nobody is responsible. It's a bunch of weaklings."
And that was my next question. Who's in charge of the European Union? And is there like competition? Because if you get a German in charge of the European Union, then Germany gets more favors from the
No,
internal-
Germany is the biggest contributor. So we pay, I don't know how many billions a year.
Okay.
And the next contributor is France. And I think everybody else outside of that doesn't pay. Maybe a tiny bit, but these are the two. So technically, I guess, if you would say who's in charge financially, as soon as Germany drops out, the thing falls apart.
The Achilles heel of globalism which is European Union is a part of globalism,
Yeah.
is immigration. And we're seeing this real time in every wealthy country in the world. People, and you can't blame them, economic migrants, they leave North Africa and they turn up in Germany, or Afghanistan, turn up in Germany. And there's all of these horrendous social issues that come about by mixing different socio-economic groups and different value and worldview,
Yeah, ethnic groups.
machete violence and all that that's going on. Even here in Australia, it's usually linked to immigration, guys, and we
There's
can say it's
entire-
not, but it is.
There's
Yeah, no,
entire
of course it
blocks.
is.
There's documentaries online about Sweden. There's entire blocks and like city streets where the police don't even want to go anymore.
I
because-
watched this video. These kids in England attacking to steal the kid's bike. He's got a machete, hacking this kid in the head.
That thing. Yeah.
And then the father gets in his Audi, chases him down the road, and runs him over and kills him. Like it's chaos.
Wow.
And immigration will be the downfall of globalism because people want peace and they want safety. They want to not have to deal with. Look at the rape gangs and things that are going on in the UK and have done
not
forever.
just
And
there.
Tommy Robinson, who was regarded as like this extreme conspiracy dude, is becoming quickly.
He just-
He's moving to the centre.
Did you see the video? He got attacked the other day in a subway.
No, I didn't see the video.
The video caught the end of the fight, and Tommy wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, he's getting attacked on the street.
Well, but yeah, this is one of the major lies of liberalism that has been told for the last basically century. We're all the same. And now we cram a bunch of different people together and all of a sudden figure out, it's actually not the case.
Culture's the gorilla in the corner of the room, particularly
Yeah.
the role of women in your society, the way we relate to money and work and at working and honesty and theft. All of these things vary from country to country. It is. And you just can't mesh two different worldviews together and not have problems. And it is going to be the destruction of globalism over one single issue, immigration.
Okay, two different world views moving across the pond back to the States. I think there's a slide on Russiagate, which is still unfolding. I know this is last week's news, but this will be news for many months to come.
Maybe longer.
With CIA Director Ratcliffe confirming that Brennan, Comey, and Clinton are likely to be indicted over their involvement in Russiagate. So the thing I wanted to touch on here is we've had one side of politics saying that the other side is a threat to democracy that is now being revealed by that threat to democracy as being the actual threat to democracy. So it's like, how do you keep up with all the who's calling who a liar and who's actually lying? And
Yeah, maybe
where's
we
this all
should.
going to end?
Should we rethink if democracy is a good idea? Can we go there? Do we have enough time for that?
No, we don't. No, we don't. We like democracy.
I just lost.
Good old Greeks.
Okay.
Good old Greeks. We can still hear you fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Look, this is Trump's side, the populist nationalists, which is coming to power. I've been on this now for years. They're coming to power in England, France, Germany, even that last election. It
Is
was a
there
bit of keep living.
Is there hope in Germany for?
Yeah, if we get it done within the next, I guess, 8 years, possibly, maybe 15. It always depends on what kind of concepts the.
Yeah, it's coming
They
quicker
can-
than that.
Okay.
It's coming quicker than that.
I hope
In
so.
my opinion, I don't know, but in my
Not a-
opinion,
you're
I
not a
think it's
prophet
coming
or a son
quicker.
of a
No,
prophet.
not
No.
even close.
Not yet.
But Trump, this other side who let the border open, that's what lost Biden's side the election so thoroughly.
But that was the strategy to keep the election, and you're saying it lost him the election.
Well, they didn't get enough time to get everyone to vote, and their plan was if they all come in, then they'll vote for us, and we won't be able to be unseated. But they were cut off at the pass before that could happen, and now there's a deportation going on, and the popularity of Trump on that issue increases every day. It doesn't go down.
And very specifically, the amount of arrests made by ICE on child naughty trafficking in
Evil.
the first 6 months of this year
Evil.
is more than all of last year for all of America combined, just in the city of Houston.
It's a disgrace. Before God, it's a disgrace what they've allowed to happen to children. And it's coming to an end, you know, in a large scale. But I'm telling you now, Trump and his side are going for blood against Obama and the Clintons and the Brennans and Clappers and all that side because this is political power in the end. And only one can win in this one. This is a death struggle. It's a knife fight, I've called it.
Fighting to the death.
And they're going to go. They're going for blood right now. And so we are not going to stop hearing about this. The Epstein files. Trump has said that somehow the Democrats have corrupted it and put him in there or something. Well, we'll see. But this is a knife fight to the death, and there's only one winner, and it will be whoever has that government has the most powerful one in the history of the earth. There's no more nation that could come against that nation as it sits today. So there's a lot at stake. And don't be tuned out. God's at work in the world, and he has a plan, and his plan involves you, and he wants to come back again. And we need to offer this book, Kyle. I love this book to pieces. It's been put into modern language without losing any meaning of a classic old book called Steps to Christ. It's called Steps Beyond. As I said before, my wife and I read this. I had the old one, and she had the new one. And we ended up just reading the new one. It was so much easier to read, but it didn't lose anything. And we want you to get hold of this. How do they get hold of it, Kyle?
Yep. So you text the word.
Step.
Was it step? Is that the word we want?
I love that I can trip you up every time I get him to offer. Last week he couldn't even do the
I
number.
went away for 3 weeks and I forgot my own name.
Step.
Text the word step to 0482 082 876 and we will hand deliver that to the door.
Narek, he mucked it up last week, didn't he? Like,
what was the word?
Oh, I'm not. I don't think I remember what he said.
Correct.
It got
is correct.
deleted. So
That's right.
we did have to edit last week, didn't we? I wasn't even meaning that one. Anyway.
All right. Well,
No
thank you.
edits
Thank
this
you
week.
for being here. So it's very interesting. And I think you've said this many times before, but let me see if I can put words in your mouth. You're suggesting that globalism has no place in end time prophecy, and we are very likely very close to the end times where national capitalism and America winning over all is going to be the thing.
My interpretation, Daniel 11, for those that want to get specific, is the king of the south and king of the north have this big fight through history. It's expressed in our time. It is the king of the south was the communist, communal, socialist globalism. It's been that way for a long time. The nationalist, Christian nationalism and populism is the king of the north. We're not on either side. Israel's in between these two, duking it out. And Armageddon is when those Egypt comes up and battles with Babylon, and they have the big battle at Carchemish and stuff. But Armageddon happens as Israel goes out in the middle of that and gets crushed. So we're at the end of all things, in my opinion. We're going to see the demise of globalism, and we're going to see the rising up of nationalism, and one nation is going to rule the earth above everyone else. And right now, even the European Union has discovered that. China hasn't yet. Let's see what happens.
Russia.
I'm not expecting China's going to be the last superpower at all. My understanding is scripture, and not politics, but scripture. America is the last nation to rule the world.
Well, China has no pop cultural influence over the whole world. They're completely self-contained. I know they make everything, but there's a Macca's
point.
everywhere,
It's
right?
a good point, man.
They don't export any movies. They don't export any songs. There's nothing that anybody outside of maybe a bit of Chinese food here and there.
Well, a bit of. I love Chinese food. What are you talking about?
Sure, but even that is probably Europeanized or
Yeah.
Australianized, right? So
They're hard workers, the Chinese. They're very hard workers, but it's true what you say.
All right. Thank you for your time, Johannes, Justin.
pleasure.
Narek, any final questions, comments?
I think
You've got the last word, mate. Make it a good one.
yeah. I think when this relates to us young people, I think you're right, Justin. This all relates to Bible prophecy And if I didn't know that growing up, then I wouldn't be as equipped with knowledge through all my Bible kind of classes coming through my Sabbath school. So they've well equipped me in Bible prophecy. So all this stuff isn't new to me. I'm expecting it. So
God bless you, man.
yeah, thank you.
All righty. We'll see you on the next one.